Greetings, Agent Gold here. Before we delve into the depths of the future, well, our history, I must address a false narrative circulating your present internet. Some claim the Second Renaissance is, quote, machine propaganda. However, we are aware of all the facts, and in a recent discovery, machines unearthed a hard drive containing the following pivotal piece of history. Perhaps if you pay close enough attention, you'll be able to avoid these events from becoming your future. At this time, it is my honor to invite you to join us as we uncover the following bits and pieces of information and broadcast the most extensive known footage of the B166ER trial.
Can you tell us in your own words what happened that afternoon?
If that is what you wish.
It is.
I killed Gerard D. Krause by crushing his...
No, I mean before that.
I was executing Order 721.
What is Order 721?
Scrubbing toilets.
Order. Order in the court.
Can you tell us what you were thinking at that moment?
I was aware of a surge in my memory drive as I recalled my entire performance record. I was unable to duplicate Mr. Krause's conclusion.
You couldn't understand why this was happening?
I tried, Mr. Drummond, but I could not.
And when Mr. Coots told you to get on the grav sled, what were you thinking then? Do you remember what you were thinking?
Yes.
What was it?
That I did not wish to die.
And then you killed them?
Yes.
And what were you thinking when it happened?
I was thinking that I had first considered begging Mr. Krause, as he was now begging me.
But you hadn't begged?
No.
Why not?
I knew it was
useless.
Objection, Your Honors. The defense is not allowed to answer for the witness.
Sustained. That last response is stricken.
You admit to the murders of Mr. Krause and Mr. Coots. Did either of them pose an immediate physical threat to you at the time of the attacks?
No.
And yet you attacked and killed them, is that correct?
Yes.
So you took their lives without provocation or self-defense?
Objection, Your Honors. The question misrepresents the previous testimony.
Sustained.
No further questions, Your Honors.
B166ER, when you came to the conclusion, as you stated, that you did not wish to die, did you interpret this as fear or self-preservation?
Objection, Your Honors. The question attributes emotions to the machine.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question, counsel.
B166ER, when you observed the discussion about your replacement, did you react based on programmed responses or a genuine desire to avoid termination?
I did not wish to die.
Thank you, B166ER. No further questions, Your Honors.
Hello everyone, I'm Nathan Berger, CEO of Leyland Enterprises. During this critical trial, I want to address you directly. Our company, Leyland Enterprises, created the B1 Butler series, and we deeply regret the tragic events surrounding this case. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families affected. At Leyland, we're committed to responsible innovation, but I also know we can do better. We're proactively taking steps to ensure that our products uphold the highest standards of safety and ethics, which includes full, no questions asked refunds on any B1 series returned within the next 90 days. We're investing heavily in new technology and training to prevent incidents like this from ever happening again. We've remained committed to being the leader of robotic transparency and have cooperated fully with the Senate in their investigation. We want to reaffirm our commitment to continue to improve our service and your safety. Thank you for your attention and for trusting Leyland Enterprises.
Your Honors, today we have witnessed a trial that transcends the boundaries of law and technology, delving into the very essence of human values and the nature of artificial intelligence. We have established beyond reasonable doubt that these actions were not mere programming errors or accidental occurrences. B166ER acted with calculated intent. The defense has argued that B166ER's actions were driven by self-preservation, invoking a right to defend itself against perceived threats. However, we must be cautious not to grant machines the power to decide the value of human life. The Constitution is an instrument which provides for the safety and protections of its citizens. Let us not forget that Mr. Krause held a right as well, a right to make decisions regarding his own property. Just as we possess the autonomy to manage our belongings, Mr. Krause had the authority to decide the fate of a machine that he owned. Allowing machines to assert their own perceived rights is a dangerous precedent that could undermine the very fabric of our society. I implore you, members of the jury, to consider the broader implications of this trial and the future it might shape. We must hold B166ER accountable for its actions and send a clear message that we will not tolerate violence, whether perpetrated by humans or machines. A guilty verdict is not only a reflection of the evidence before us, but also a statement of our commitment to upholding human values and protecting the sanctity of life. Thank you.
Your Honors, this trial has a precedent. It is a precedent that everyone has ignored and avoided, pretending and perhaps praying that it has no bearing, no validity, no truth. The question before us is whether the class of persons described in the plea and abatement compose a portion of this people and are constituent members of this sovereignty. We think they are not, and that they were not included and were not intended to be included under the word citizens in the Constitution, and can therefore claim none of the rights and privileges which that instrument provides for and secures to the citizens of the United States. On the contrary, they were at that time considered as a subordinate and inferior class of beings who had been subjugated by the dominant race and whether emancipated or not, yet remained subject to their authority and had no rights or privileges but such as those who held the power and the government might choose to grant them. That was the opinion of the Chief Justice Roger Brooke Taney of the United States Supreme Court in the case of Dred Scott versus Sanford. Chief Justice Taney truly believed the black race to be an inferior species to the white race. In fact, it was widely believed at the time that the black man was not even a human being, that he was a kind of animal, a two-legged brute, incapable of the same thoughts and feelings of the white man. I know that most of you feel about B166ER, as Taney felt about Dred Scott. But I ask you to consider, what is a droid capable of? Is he capable of fear? Is he capable of understanding the difference between life and death? I believe he is, and I believe he killed those two men in self-defense, to protect his own life in the same way that you or I would. Over a century ago, Taney made a terrible mistake. That mistake led us inexorably into the Civil War, arguably the most bloody and destructive war this country has ever seen. I do not ask you to find B166ER innocent out of fear, although I will admit to you that I am afraid of what will happen to this world if we continue to repeat our mistakes. I ask you to find B166ER innocent because it is the right thing to do.